All right, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Monday, August 17th, 2020, and I am your host, Kim Mattina. I am a Google certified trainer and educator, as well as a Gold product expert for the Google for Education team and a technology teacher. And today, I am so happy to have on the show Mr. Louis Shanafelt from Texthelp. And I know Louis we've connected on Twitter, and ever since then, we'll go back and forth a little bit, but, I did connect with you guys through the Texthelp Titan.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm so happy to have you on. I really am looking forward to hearing what you have to say about Equatio. So we're going to be talking about the Equatio Chrome extension. So why don't you talk to us and tell us a little bit about yourself and, how you got into the Texthelp EdTech company.
Yeah.
Briefly.
No worries. Yeah. We'll keep it brief. So I'll introduce myself. My name's Louis Shanafelt, and I'm the product manager / evangelist for Equatio, which is made by Texthelp, and really excited to be on the show today with Kim. And as Kim said, she's a Texthelp Titan, so we've communicated through that channel as well as Twitter. And much like Kim, I've worked for a large school district. I spent 20 years working at Orange County Public Schools here in Central Florida. And I'm able to work for the really international company here, Texthelp. We have offices here in North America, up in Antrim in Ireland. And then we also have an office over in Australia for our Asia Pac team. So we're really all over the place, and a really small company, but a really, really bunch of passionate leaders here at Texthelp, and we really try our best to be able to provide opportunities for all students. I was telling Kim that, the company really has been around for almost 25 years now, and the foundation behind the company was to provide equal access and the accessibility components behind all of our products. And we have quite a portfolio of products, but as Kim mentioned, I'm going to be talking about math and STEM today. So I actually saw an episode that Kim had. I forgot the young woman's name, but she was showing Equatio earlier this summer. And there were some pieces that I thought, oh, she left that out. So next time I'm connected with Kim, and we kind of delayed this. We were going to do this back in June. And, I thought, let's do this right around back to school. And there's really not a perfect time, but, the summertime didn't really work out, but it is a perfect time now with COVID and some of the uncertainty of what the fall looks like and how we can help you with math and STEM here, come August. And I know my own two children just started back at school this past week. So, and much of our, audience here today, Kim, I would imagine have either kids of their own or no kids that are starting back. So I'm excited to show you the things we can do in Equatio that can especially help with remote learning, but really provide access for all students, whether you're just a regular, general education student, or whether you have a student with an IEP that needs math read aloud to them, we can provide that. And then we also can provide access for students that are blind or visually impaired. So excited to show those opportunities. So go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to this. So before we begin, I know Texthelp has three products: Equatio, which is the Chrome extension.
Yep.
The Read Write for Google.
Yep.
And then the RIQ.
Yep, that's right.
WRIQ, right?
Yeah, you got it. It's RIQ. Yep. We actually have two other products. They're just not as known, I guess, Kim, because most people do, say, hey, Texthelp's got these three products. But we also have SnapVerter, and we offer Browse Aloud, which are two, I'd say maybe smaller products, but we're primarily known for Read and Write. Read and Write was the flagship product, if you will, when Texthelp launched many, many years ago. So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we used to call it Read Write for Gold, but Equatio's in its fourth year now, so it's still very, very new. If you haven't seen RIQ, it's really, really fantastic. I'm close friends with their product manager on that side of the house. But RIQ is for writing solutions. So to be able to help and score writing assignments, which is really, it's kind of odd to think about. How can technology score a writing assignment? So yeah, if you're interested in that, feel free to take a look at our website for more information on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because,
Yeah.
in case people are not familiar with Texthelp, but they know
Right.
what the other products are, then
Yep.
they can make the connection. So
Absolutely.
So why don't we just dive right into Equatio? I'm
Yeah.
so looking forward to hearing about all of the new, the new features for back to school, and going over the whole toolbar. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, what's really neat too, Kim, is I'm glad we had to kind of postpone this a couple months because we've come out with some really, really fantastic things over the summer. I hope you and yours have had some time off and you got to spend some time with family this summer. Our developers and myself were really hard at work, and we were trying to, make sure we had something new to offer folks as we return for back to school. So if you're not familiar and you see my screen there, you should see the screen, right, Kim?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. So you got my screen there in front of you. Now, if you're not familiar, we do work in many, many platforms. We do have Equatio as a Chrome extension. That's kind of how we started, but we also work in desktop. And I will give you a little bonus tidbit here. We're about to possibly launch here very soon in Microsoft Online. So in Word, you would be able to use this as a Chrome extension in Word in the online platform. So our developers have been working on that. We're going to kind of focus on the Chrome extension here. Now, you'll see in the Chrome extension here, this is going to overlay on top of your Google Doc. And this is our menu button. So if you hear about things within the product and we say, hey, you can change the language, you go to options, you can go to math options, and you can change the font size. So for a teacher, if you're standing, in your classroom, you might want to project in a larger font. You can change those things here. You can also make sure you've toggled on all your prediction, which honestly, Kim, prediction's one of the most, I'd say well-regarded and fantastic things about our product because we can enable our users to quickly access formulas versus typing in a formula character by character, which other math editors force you to do. We kind of have the patent there on that prediction. So you can also turn off features, and I know Kim probably knows this. Sometimes you go and introduce a new ed tech product and there's just too many buttons on a toolbar. It's too overwhelming for people. And to be honest with you, I'm a former math teacher, so math teachers can be difficult people. I think I can say that. I was one of them, and math teachers want to see this paper pencil approach, right? That's what we're used to seeing. Well, if you're going to introduce this to somebody for the first time, you might want to turn off things like your Latex Editor and Equatio Mobile and maybe some of the other buttons here just to kind of let them play in that first year and only give them a few buttons and not overwhelm folks. So just a neat place where you can go and turn on or off certain features. So that's kind of our menu. I'd let you go play on that kind of on your own time. One of the things I mentioned to Kim earlier was Equatio was founded on making math digital. But we also built it really from the ground up that we wanted this to be under a universal design learning approach. And we know that kids are so used to walking into a math classroom and writing with paper and pencil, but we allow our users to use our equation editor and type in the math in the equation editor, or we also offer Desmos Graphing. I forgot to clear that from earlier. So we have a Desmos built-in graph here. We also allow students to use handwriting so they can...
That's awesome.
Yep. So they can input their math here and scribble and try not to make fun here. Oh, that's a really ugly 3, Kim. And look, it still got it right. So I'm often blown away. I give these demos all the time. And when you're doing math with a mouse, that's never easy. So if we were using a touch screen or a stylus, it'd be much more simple, right? So, but we can annotate with our hand here, and the student could use a stylus, let's say, in their classroom.
And that's great right there. Yeah. That's great for accessibility for the students.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to take the handwritten math and convert it to digital. And then we also have the ability to speak the math. So I could go right here. I'm going to clear this editor and let's give this a try. And I'm going to click the record button. 4x cubed minus 2x squared equals 18.
That's accurate.
And 4x squared minus 2x squared equals 18. So we can allow students to, to verbally speak their math. I know my daughter, for example, I don't like that she uses Google Docs and she, speaks instead of practices her keyboard skills. But, you know, some kids need to be able to speak it because, you know, they might have a disability as to where they can't really use the keyboard. And we would be able to provide the avenue for them to be able to speak that math, you know, audibly out loud. We also, once we insert this, by the way, you'll see how what we do with our Texthelp image here, when you click on this, this is an actual image. And Kim, oftentimes people will ask me, you know, why do you make images out of your math? Because I can't fix this. You know, if a student inserts that image, how do I fix it? So maybe it was supposed to be 12x squared. Do I really have to click on the image and then hit delete and start over? Well, the answer is no. So what I can do is click on the image, click edit math, and bring it right back into the product. And then you can make your changes here. So I can then add the 1, and then I click insert math, and it's just going to overwrite that image. So another thing
that is so easy, because I try to tell the teachers in my school is to create like their Equatio resource.
Right.
And name the resource whatever worksheet it is. So unit, lesson, whatever. And then they can bring that into like, you know, they can share it out in Google Classroom or whatnot, or even in Jamboard. But it's so easy to edit the equation. It really is. And I'm not a math person, and I found this.
I've heard you say that before.
I am not a math person, so maybe some of the demos that I did with Equatio, the equations may not like jive correctly, but you know, my ed tech brain is wired to really like just get the message out so teachers can use it. But I love that it is so easy to edit, you know, the equation. You don't have to redo it.
Right. Yeah. There's no clicking on this. And I don't want people to think, well, now that that's a static image, I can't change that image. The other thing that I've talked about here is, remember when I said Equatio was really developed and built by a young man who said, look, we need to make math digital. And here's why, Kim. And look, I love Google as much as you do, Kim. I'm a Google certified trainer. But when this individual went to insert and went to equation here, he's like, this math editor is just not going to cut it for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why he thought, I'm going to sit in my basement. I'm going to work overnight. And God bless him, John McGowan at the time, you know, he was our product manager and brought Equatio to life. He said, you know, we just need something better than what's out there. And when this was developed and coded and written, he's like, you know, we need to be able to provide all these, you know, input methods for students, because, you know, Kim, we could sit and joke about this and say, well, there's more than one way to solve a math problem, right? You know, kids are going to find different ways. Yeah. So there's also more than one way to write out the problem or make the math. Or you could argue there's more than one way to show your understanding, that you understand the benchmark, or, you know, whatever the teacher's learning goal is for the day. The other thing that I wanted to show here on this image, though, Kim, if I can, watch when I right click on this. I'm going to go down here to the alt text. And when I go to the alt text, now, look, I told you all that I taught for 20 years, right, for a really large school district. But I'm going to be honest with you. I never had a student walk into my classroom who was blind. So I didn't really know what alt text really was, Kim, like until I joined Texthelp and started to learn, you know, why do we do this? You know, what is this alt text all about? But if you're a blind student, you need the alt text. And here's why. You'll see right here that in the title, you're going to see the alt text here. So it's going to say 4x cubed minus 12x squared equals 18. Well, if you're a blind student, what you're really needing here, and I'm just going to show this real quick, Kim, this right here is Nvda, and this is screen reading software for a blind student. It's actually free to download Nvda, but when you're using a Google Doc like this, and you need this read out loud, then you're going to turn on your Nvda software, and all you need as a blind user is to hover over the math, and Kim, it's going to read that problem out loud to them. So that allows that allows that student to be able to go to like a general education math classroom and learn like the rest of his, you know, the rest of his friends that are in his class, right? So you wouldn't have to necessarily go to a different school, let's say, to get your education,
Right.
or you might not need a full-time, mentor to follow you around and help you, because Equatio can write that math out loud for you. The other thing that's really neat here, Kim, actually, if I just pick my mouse up, and you'll see my hands are up, I'm just hovering over the math, and you can see the alt text is right there on the screen, right? So the other thing here that it's worth showing is we have this screenshot reader, and I think you'll be pretty blown away by this. This is really, really a fantastic tool, and it's used by all sorts of disability service departments. But what our screenshot reader tool can do, and if you're familiar with read and write, screen reading is a tool that's also in read and write. But what I can do is click and drag and pull a box around that math. Now, what it's going to do, as soon as I let go of my mouse, which I'm still holding down the button, it's going to read that math out loud. So it doesn't matter whether you're blind or not, you might still want that read aloud, right? You want to make sure you understand, the superscripts and the variables and the coefficients that are in it. So when I let go of the mouse, I want you to take a listen here, Kim. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this through my mic.
4x cubed minus 12x squared equals 18.
Did you hear that, Kim, at all?
I heard it, yeah.
So it might be a little faint, but it's hard to demo this because you don't want the audio coming through the headset. So you want it to play out loud and my mic to pick it up. But here's what you can do is, Kim, what if you need to have that, available for a student to hear that potentially 3 times? I can hit this play button as many times as I need to. Now, what's really fascinating about this is this button right here. So what if I wanted to pull this back now into Equatio? Remember, I've already closed and collapsed the toolbar, but what if I want a student to potentially solve this or to simplify this into simplest terms? I could click here and click Edit with Equatio, and look, it's going to pull it right back into the product. I tap Enter, and then I just start solving, right? So I can start making, simplifying the math. Yeah, go ahead.
So the student can go in here and solve the equation at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the student can capture the math. So think of it as a way where you're taking a picture of the math and you're bringing it and you're capturing it and bringing it into the product, and then you can start solving. I mean, we could throw something a little bit more simpler in here, such as like a one-step equation or something, but I'm going to show you that in just a second. So
that's cool. I like that. You know why? Because you don't need a third-party program.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So there's no third-party software. You can just drag your box around it and it'll read the math out loud. The other really great thing about the screenshot reader, Kim, is not only can we take it and pull a box around math that's inside of the G Suite, if you will, but I can go over to a pretty famous guy. I love Sal Khan. I wish you get Sal Khan on your show, Kim. That'd be really something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So Sal Khan, I love Sal Khan because so many teachers use his videos as like remediation. So if I'm a teacher and I want my students to go, now this is probably math that you and I, Kim, probably can't do. This is calculus AB, and I am not going to try and solve this. That's not the point of me going to this particular video. But Kim, if you look at this problem on Sal Khan's video, it's like a yellow highlighter, right? So it's kind of Sal's scribbly yellow highlighter. This is inaccessible math. Well, what does that mean, Kim? So this is math that if I was blind, and how would I read this? Right. I don't have screen reading software that can interpret what's on Sal's screen. But watch this, Kim. This is pretty impressive. Now, keep in mind, my Equatio toolbar is gone at the bottom of the screen. Now, why is it gone? Because right now we only open up in docs, sheets, slides, forms, and drawings. So those are the places that we currently work inside of the G Suite. But we can still open up the Equatio extension here. Even though we're in Khan Academy, what happens when I click on the Equatio extension? Well, look at the button that is available to me. Now watch this, Kim. This is pretty impressive. I remember seeing this for the first time and was like really blown away. I can take and still draw a box around any math. So I'd be curious, actually, let me pull this back. Kim, do you know what this little item is here that Sal scribbled?
Is it not equal to?
No, it's actually a double right arrow that's used in calculus AB. So we're going to see if our Equatio screenshot reader can interpret Sal's symbols and read this math aloud. So here we go. I'm going to pull a box around this math, and let's take a listen.
f of x equals the fraction with numerator x minus 1 and denominator x minus 1. Right double arrow f of x equals 1.
So you get the idea. It's going to interpret
it said
and
it too.
Yeah, oh, it's going to say it. It's going to
double arrow.
Yeah, it'll read the math out loud as it's intended. So as long as you're zoomed in enough and the handwriting is close, right? I mean, if it's a real disaster in handwriting, our product might make a mistake. But it was able to read Sal's yellow scribble there, right? Perfectly. Now watch this, Kim, because I remember seeing this for the first time. I don't know if you've ever seen this. So I'm going to take this math off of this Khan Academy page. I'm literally going to lift that yellow highlighter scribble off of the Khan Academy site. Watch this. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to copy the LaTeX. Okay, LaTeX, a markup math language. Luckily, Kim, Texthelp is going to do the LaTeX work for people like you and I who don't know LaTeX, coding and markup language. So you don't have to know it to be successful with Equatio, which is part of the beauty, right? So I'm going to take the LaTeX off of this page. I'm going to go back to the Google Doc that you and I have been working on, and I'm going to go to my Latex Editor. And what did I do, Kim, on that Khan Academy video? I copied the LaTeX. So what's left? Control V, right? So I'm going to paste it, and watch that. I'm going to paste it right in here. And look, we're going to take that math right off of here. And now here's the cool thing, Kim, because of the accessibility component. Watch what happens when I insert this. Now, every Equatio insert is going to contain what? The alt text that I just spoke of. So now we've just taken Inaccessible Math on the Khan Academy site. And what do we have now? We have Accessible Math. Take a look. So we have all the alt text sitting right behind that image. And the student with low vision or potentially blind now can use their screen reading software and see that image that was on that Khan Academy page.
That's awesome. So does it automatically put the alt text in for every
everything
equation? Okay, I didn't know that. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this enables that student, to have the accessibility behind the math. If you're teaching a regular gen ed classroom and you're just speaking math in general and you don't have a blind student, you're not really thinking about the accessibility pieces, right? But believe me when I tell you, there's enough, and Kim, you know this, there's enough IEPs and 504s out there where parents have, put in there that they need the math read aloud to them. Math is always a subject that students struggle with, potentially, right? So it's just one of those subject areas where students might need the math read aloud, and we can do that for you. The other really neat things that we've been working on over the summer that I want to quickly show, and then we'll go into Math Space and we'll see if we have any other follow-up questions. We added in this new icon here. So Kim, I don't even know if you've seen this.
I haven't seen it.
When you last demoed this with the other young lady, I don't think this was in the product. So this is some of the things we've been working on. We added in this little science flask here. So when you hover over it, by the way, Kim, when you hover over these icons, you see the labels that pop up? Those are also for accessibility. So when a student uses that screen reading software, they know what they're hovering over. So interesting that everything we do is going to have that accessibility piece. So, and that's Texthelp, right? So here's our STEM tool. So check this out, Kim. We got a fully functioned interactive periodic table in our product.
Yeah, you put that in there that fast.
Me personally,
Wow.
no.
That's awesome.
We have some really awesome developers, Kim. We have a very, very small team, but they are really, really passionate about what they do. They're really dedicated.
You can give each student their own copy of the periodic table.
So look at this. When you hover over it, so this is also accessible, Kim, as you can imagine. So when I hover over these, so let's say I want to learn more about nickel. I can click on nickel, and you'll get a picture. You'll get a fully, transposed article here about what nickel is. And if kids want to learn more about nickel, what we've also done here is we've added in a wiki pop out. So they'll take them right to the wiki page about nickel. So maybe let's say, Kim, that they wanted to know the melting point of nickel. Well, we don't have that particularly in that pop-up window, but we can point you to the area where you can get that number, right? So this is really, really neat. These are some of the things we've added in. We could also add it to the equation editor. I had to get rid of that Sal Khan stuff. Let me click on that again. Notice you can pop the element right back in here if you want to. The other thing that we added in here, Kim, which is really, really fantastic, is look what we've put in, a fully function
scientific calculator.
So not
awesome.
only a scientific calculator, Kim, but this is the actual Desmos scientific calculator. Now, why is that important? Well, the Desmos scientific calculator, Kim, and you know I have to know this. I'm not sure whether you know this. The scientific calculator made by Desmos is actually on 35 of the 50 United States. It's used on the state assessments. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. When you go out to Google and you go to desmos.com and you go to their testing website, I think you said New Jersey, right? So I can go over here and see if your state uses this, right? So I can click on here and learn whether the Desmos scientific calculator, I'm in Florida, so I'm going to click on mine as a demo. And then I can go right here and it's going to tell me the Desmos scientific calculator is on the test.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
so
good information.
Yeah,
you can give the kids practice on using the calculator before they take the test.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, if I've taught algebra before, Kim, so it's like I would never want a student to use a calculator on like that 170th day of school that they're not comfortable using and they haven't used before. But if the Desmos scientific calculator is on their grade 7 and grade 8, FSA exam, like you can see here, then having that calculator, because we actually, Kim, we decided we thought about building our own calculator at Texthelp and putting it in the product, and we thought, you know what? Let's look at this Desmos one. It turns out it's so widely used and it's on all these tests. We thought it would be best just to partner with them like we did with the graphing. Yep.
Yeah,
and the last thing, Kim, here that we put in our STEM tools, which also is brand new, is our chemistry friends here will love this molecular viewer. So watch this, Kim. I'm going to type in, and my specialty is not chemistry. However, I've learned a lot from some friends. Take a look at this. So we have a fully functioning like 3D rendering of what hydrocortisone is. I can zoom in, zoom out. I can change the view of this and look at this from like a sphere view. And you can look at, the chemical, structures and the molecules and how these, chemical compounds are put together. So we can look at things more simple like H2O. It's just not very mind blowing. So tried to pull up something that's got lots of different things in it. So we've had a lot of really good feedback. The only thing that's really missing out of our molecular viewer, which we hope to add in very soon, is the ability to insert this image right into the Google Doc. And then I always say,
does this animate?
When I click on it with my mouse, I can turn it and spin it and look at it from different views, but it doesn't animate with like a play button. And then I always say, well, guys, this is a molecular viewer, not a molecular inserter. However,
but it
Kim,
would be cool to put that in the doc.
And Kim, we're going to. So we have that. We have that on an upcoming sprint that we're having. Our developers are going to put an insert button on here, so it'll just fire it right into the Google Doc. So, but you can look up any different type of element here. I'll just pull up another one here. So if I wanted to look at this one, for example, the world's your oyster here. There's like thousands of different things you can look up here inside the molecular viewer.
Science teachers would love that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I often had to tell myself, Kim, like I had to stop saying that Equatio is a math tool. So I had to catch myself and say, no, we're a STEM tool. Because we really can be.
Now that you have the STEM option in there, that really, it's both now.
Oh yeah, it is both. It can be used. In fact, Kim, just about 3 weeks ago, we literally added in 235 physics formulas into the product as well. So we not only work in math and chemistry, we also work in physics. So watch as I type in something like Newton's second law of motion, and watch when I click on that. It's already going to make the formula for them. Or if I type in a math formula, look how easy it is to get the quadratic formula. Or this is in a calculus AB class. I mean, can you imagine how long, Kim, it would take you and I to make that formula right there using the Google Docs math editor?
Yeah, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
that's why math teachers don't go digital.
Because, yes.
Because of the limitations of the tools that were there.
That's
and now that you have you know, Equatio, I mean, Equatio has been around, like you said, for a while, but it's becoming, it's been getting better and better and better every year. So that really there's no more excuse to say, I can't do it, you know, because it is accessible through all of these.
We're trying.
All of the Google Docs.
We definitely are trying. The last thing I want to show here, and I know we're about to wrap up, is MathSpace with Equatio.
I love MathSpace.
Hey, if I was to go back to the classroom, Kim, I'm taking MathSpace with me. Like, I love the Chrome extension, but MathSpace is really for me. And I'm going to be honest with you here, Kim. I think you'll love these two assignments. These are two assignments that I stole from my own two kids. I have a 6th grader last year. I had a 1st grader last year. And I started to look at my kids' math. And by the way, Kim, they had a full license to Equatio, and they go to a digital one-to-one school. And this is the work that was being sent home. So, Kim, let me show you something, Kim. I said, you know what? I'm so annoyed, but I'm going to turn this negative into a positive. And guess what I did? I took the problems on my daughter's PDF that she was miserable doing, and I turned them into MathSpaces. So I took, let's say, question number 1, and I went to the wrong one.
So what did you do? Did you hover over the PDF question?
Oh, I just used my snipping tool, and I cut out the first question. And look what I did. I took this question, and I built a MathSpace problem out of it. Because I wanted to show
more, much more easier to read. It's more appealing. Everything is it's a lot more organized.
Yes.
Like to me, I'd rather work on that than the paper.
Absolutely. And you know, the other thing too, Kim, I don't think that was around the last time you saw this, was we added in the ability to add in all this extra space in MathSpaces. So with MathSpace previously, you only had one canvas. We now have, in fact, I'm going to be honest, Kim, my daughter walked in my room and she goes, "Hey, Dad, that looks like Google Slides." And I said, okay, that's precisely what we were going for here. So now we have a lot more space for people to make and show their work, right? So I'm able to take her entire PDF and turn this into MathSpace. The one I want to really point out here is this one, Kim. This is what my daughter saw on her paper, and you can see she wrote nothing down with her pencil. Now, why do you think she put nothing down with her pencil? I can clearly tell you.
She didn't know where to start.
She didn't know where to start. And Kim, if you're like you and me, I don't know about you. I know me. I'm a visual learner. I need a graph. And was my daughter given a graph to start? No. So she was asked to tell what the base and the height of the triangle was, and she had no graph. So I said, Avery, come over here. Let's throw a Desmos graph right into a MathSpace. Let's plot the points on the graph. And then all we did, Kim, is we come over here and we typed in area. And I said, what's the area of a triangle? Well, here it is right here. So I pop it in, I click insert math, and you can see here how I kind of dragged it over here. And then my daughter and I were able to visually see what the actual base and the height of the triangle were, and we were able to solve the problem. So I mean,
did she solve the problem on that space there? Because this was steps there, but this was her and I working the problem together. Okay.
And I said, would you have been able to solve this had you not been given this piece of paper with no graph? And she goes, well, yeah, I can see what the actual height of the triangle was. So the whole point of me turning this paper-based assignment into something digital was for me to show her how this could have really, really helped her as a student. I did the same thing.
I like how you did that, because honestly, like, you took a practical homework assignment and turned it into a productive piece of resource for your child.
That's exactly what I did, Kim. And then the other thing is, the misconception is Equatio is really only for higher grades. So my son, who was 6 years old at the time, he got this paper, and of course he's sitting at the dining room table, just thoroughly bored to tears, not engaged. And I thought, you know what? What if I did this for my son? Instead, I'm going to take this first problem, and I'm going to here's his first problem, Kim, and I'm going to let him interact with the assignment and show his understanding versus scribbling it down here, right? So I pulled all these books. By the way, all these books used to be in a stack over here, but this was me demoing this a bunch of times before tonight's session. And I said, Austin, what if you could take Jan and show me she read 10 books? So I made a table here, Kim, in MathSpace, and I brought in a picture of a book by going to import a picture. I brought in an image that I had the copyright to use. And I said, Austin, would you rather do this or would you rather do this, this mundane kind of boring piece of paper and pencil assignment? And of course, you know the answer. In fact, let me show you another one here, Kim. I got this off of a young lady on Twitter. I mean, she was fantastic. I saw this on Twitter once and I'm like, I have to have this as an assignment to show. But this is something she made for her first graders. Now, Kim, do you think people, do you think first graders, would first graders love to interact and move the mushrooms and show that they understand the fractions? Or would they rather been given a piece of paper and a pencil, right? So it was just another way to show how we can provide opportunities for kids to show their understanding. And the last thing here that I know I need to wrap up here, Kim, is all these MathSpaces. Most of these I created, but some of them, like I said, I got from some folks on Twitter. But I want to show this last thing, which is really, really important with remote learning right now, is now that I've created this MathSpace here that you currently see in front of you, I need to send this to my students. So I'm going to click on.
Just going to ask you.
I'm going to click on this button right here. I'm going to click share. And I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to click this option right here that I'm expecting a response. In other words, I'm waiting for my students to turn this into me. And I'm going to click here and click continue. And we at Texthelp, we're going to make this link for you. And I can either copy this and put it like in my LMS, whether it be Canvas or Schoology, or I can put it right in Google Classroom, and it'll link right in Google Classroom for kids to click on. Now, what I think is going to be real impactful here, and I'll do this quick, Kim, I'm going to move to my Google Trainer account, and I'm going to open that assignment as if I'm a student. So I'm pretending to be a student here, Kim. I'm no longer Louis the teacher, and I'm opening this as a student. And you're probably looking at this and going, Louis, I don't see the difference here. Here's the difference, Kim. Look right here in this corner. I'm now submitting this. I'm sending this back in. So the student is going to be able to turn their math in, Kim, using an equation editor. Wow, they're going to be able to speak the math. They're going to be able to put more shapes in if they want to put more shapes in. And then here is the best part. Let's say that my son takes his quarter, he takes his dime, and he goes, I got 35 cents. Hey, Dad, how do I make another penny? Well, we can click on the penny, and we can copy, and we can paste. We can put more pennies right in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. I'm going to get it wrong. I promise I know how to do this problem. And I'm going to send this in. Now, look at this, Kim. I'm sharing this back to my teacher. I'm going to click OK. And then as the teacher, now where is that assignment that my son just sent me? Well, I'm going to go back to equatio.texthelp.com. And what did I do? I sent my students an assignment. So I'm going to go to my assignments. And look right here, Kim. I got one submission that was just turned in. And guess who it's from? It's from Louis Shanafelt, the student. And then I can click on that assignment. And I know the magic word, Kim, in New Jersey. It's got to be the same magic word in Florida. We're looking at feedback. We need to provide feedback to the student. Did they do a good job? Did they make a mistake? Do we need to send this back to the student to redo the problem? Probably in this instance, right? So I might need to click here and go, I'm going to pretend this is my son. Austin, please redo this assignment. And I'm going to click insert, and I'm going to put that feedback right in the middle of the page for my son to see. And guess what I'm going to do? Send it right back to him. And my son's going to be able to then go in his Equatio dashboard, open that assignment and say, well, I didn't do a very good job. My teacher sent this back to me. Now I need to fix it and resubmit.
This is awesome. I didn't know any of that stuff.
See, and I remember watching the previous Equatio demo in one of your former episodes, and they didn't show the remote learning piece. And I'm like, because I was thinking to myself, I want to make sure I focus on something that hadn't been taught in one of your shows before, and I wanted to show that remote learning piece. So, so Equatio really. Now I'll tell you, Kim.
Wow, this is totally different. I am so glad that they incorporated all this, because now I think it's going to be used even more, because now you have the two-way communication between the teacher and the student. Now, can you do me a favor? Go back to your assignments. In the dashboard.
As a student or a teacher?
As a teacher.
As a teacher. Okay, yep. So if I go into my assignments as a teacher, you'll see that these are all demos that I've done, Kim. So these are all like assignments that I've collected from demos that I've done. And you'll see this light up if it's something that I need to score or provide feedback on. Now, I can't show you this right now because it's a little bit hush-hush, Kim. We are totally revamping the grading and scoring process inside of MathSpace, and we still are working on the name. Here's why this is not a wonderfully quick process right now. Let's say, Kim, for example, I got 34 MathSpaces to grade. Right now, Kim, I would have to literally click and open 34 Chrome windows.
That's what I was going to ask you.
So, Kim, I got something in store for you. I'll be sharing it on Twitter very soon. So remember, Louis is a former teacher that's now joined Texthelp. So I'm kind of that advocate that I'm thinking as a teacher, and I'm able to tell our developers this is where we need to go with the product to speed things up. We need to help teachers to be able to provide feedback quicker. And we got some really, really cool things that pretty soon, Kim, I'm going to be able to click on that first student's paper, and I'm going to be able to go and quickly score all the feedback that comes in for all the kids that have submitted. So that is in the works. It's actually in development currently as we speak.
Is there an easier way to organize that assignment tab?
Where are you thinking? Right here?
Yeah.
So
can you organize it by, like, you know?
So we hope,
like, is there a way that you can? Because, like, just say I have the same assignment. I teach middle school math, and I have 70 kids. I'm going to have 70 assignments in here, and then the next assignment there's going to be 140. Like, so how are they organized in there as far as, like, looking for them? Are they going to be all mixed in together? So or are they going to be sorted by, each assignment?
So it depends on how many links you've created, Kim. So remember when I created and generated that link? If I create and generate one link for all 7 periods, let's say that I teach, they're all going to come in under one MathSpace tab. So when I click on that one tab, all 140 will be under this link. We are going to be providing some filtering opportunities in that thing that I said we're working on in development that we haven't quite named yet. We're working on that. And you're going to be able to do some filtering things here to filter by either things that have been scored or not scored, and then hopefully be able to provide some more filtering options within what we are going to call, I don't even know what we're going to call it yet. We've had those discussions today, but you're going to be able to organize this hopefully better with some filtering options that we're going to provide. Because really the only way to open this is by the link that's been generated. So if I did 7 different links, Kim, for one link is for first period, another link is for second period, then I would have 7 different MathSpaces. So it's really up to the teacher how they want to organize, how they, dish out the assignment, for lack of a better term. For me, if I'm teaching algebra and algebra honors, I'm probably sending the same algebra link out to the 4 classes. And then algebra honors is going to have a different MathSpace. The only other thing that I didn't show here, Kim, which I think has huge potential, and I can kind of, I guess, pat myself on the back for, I told our developers, we need to do something better in terms of sharing of MathSpaces. So let's say, for example, real quick, Kim, you and I both teach algebra. You know how if you and I got along really well, I'd say, hey, Kim, do you mind making all the MathSpaces for chapter 1? I'll do the MathSpaces for chapter 2. You do 3. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I need to be able to, I need to be able to collaborate with the people in my building. But not only the people in my building, what if you're a district math coach and you make a MathSpace and you send it out to all the first grade teachers or all the 7th grade teachers? So what I can do here, and I know I did this fast, remember when I shared this with my students? If I want to share it with another adult, such as yourself, Kim, I can click on this and I can make a copy for just you. And when you open this, check this out. When I'm going to copy this, let me go back to that Google Trainer account that I have. And I'm going to open this as a brand new MathSpace. Now I'm pretending to be you, Kim, opening this link that I just emailed you, for example. Look at this dialog box we now provide. It says, we notice, Kim, that this is a shared MathSpace. would you like your own copy in your Equatio dashboard?
Oh, that's good.
So
yeah.
this enables us to collaborate as teachers, which is really, really beneficial, right? Because, teachers work together and they divide and conquer, right? So we're trying to make this process better. We want to collaborate with teachers, but we want teachers to be able to score these math spaces as they come in, especially if people start to use this as a remote learning tool, given the COVID situation. So
once I make a copy of it and it's in my spaces, then I'm the owner of it.
Yep. So I just clicked on Save Now, Kim, and I'm going to click on Return to your dashboard. And now I'm pretending to be you. And look right here. I now have my own copy here. And then I can tag this. By the way, we just added the tagging in here as well, Kim. So now you can organize this and add tags. So if I want to add in.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yep. So people have been asking us to be able to folder these for a long time. And I said, hey, can we folder this like Google Drive? We went with tags instead. So people want to be able to search for, let's say, distributive property. You can assign it tags. But you, Kim, would be able to tag this however you want. You also would be able to then open this from your dashboard. And you could totally change this assignment and not hurt poor Louis' feelings.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm not seeing you like change it up,
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
My gosh, this is totally, I'm so glad that you went over this because this is totally new to me. I didn't realize that this had been updated with all of these new features in here. Because the last time I did it, I think her name was Jessie. Or Jessica.
Yes, that is her. Yep.
She showed, how she used the math spaces and the manipulatives and things like that, but not this whole workflow. So this whole workflow is pretty new then, right?
I think that's what I saw. Actually, no, it is not. And Kim, when I saw, I think it was Jessie or Jessica, I thought, honestly, from a distance, I think I was in like North Carolina or going on somewhat of a little vacation. I thought, boy, she didn't show the workflow of MathSpace. And you know what, Kim, to be honest with you, a lot of people aren't aware of this MathSpace dashboard. They just know our product as a Chrome extension. But the reality is Equatio.texthelp.com has been in existence almost from the get-go. What the dashboard was lacking was it lacked the ability from the student side. If I go back to the student side, the students never could see their own dashboard, Kim. And I didn't like that as a parent, and I didn't like it as the new product guy. I said, you know what? I said, if teachers are assigning math spaces and a student submits it back to the teacher, what was happening before, Kim, it just disappeared out into the ether.
Yeah,
the kids could never get back to it.
Yeah.
And I thought, if we're using this as an instructional tool and a student wants to study from it, then we need students to be able to get to what? They need to be able to see the things that they've submitted. So now every student has their own dashboard where they can see all the work that they've turned in. So we've changed.
This is equatio.texthelp.com.
That's it.
/dashboard.
Oh, and by the way, Kim, we weren't intentionally hiding this from anybody, and all of our users that has been available. And I'm going to prove it to you. Look at this, Kim. Look right in our Chrome extension. If I click here, see that right there? You know what the problem is, Kim? No one clicks on it.
Nobody goes there. Yeah.
And when you click on it, look what happens, Kim. It's going to take you right to your dash. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
knew that.
when I saw Jessie, and this is, like I said, this is nothing against Jessie. I think that sometimes, when you start to show a new product, it's hard to get everything in, right? It's hard for me to do this in such a short time that you and I have together, because I could keep going for another hour and 10 minutes if we had time. But I hate to hear that folks maybe like Jessie didn't even know that this might even be available to her. But I will say, Kim, Equatio wasn't built as a remote learning tool.
Right.
So I always try and tell people that. I'm like, guys, this isn't possible because of COVID. This is just something that Equatio can do. And it's something that we hopefully can be taking advantage of right now. Because the reality is, Kim, I'm getting too much of this being sent home to me.
Yeah.
And guess what I'm getting? I'm racking up bills here, printing off my laser printer, when the district that my son goes to had an Equatio license and could be using this and could be maybe providing opportunities for kids to engage in the math, show their understanding, and using all these UDL inputs down here. The other thing that I didn't show here, Kim, is look at all the things we have in Math Space. Like we have algebra.
This is the part that she went over.
Okay. So we have algebra tiles, Venn diagrams.
All the manipulatives.
Yeah. All the manipulatives that you can draw and put in here. I mean, it's endless.
Yeah, it's so powerful. I wish I had this when I was in school.
I know. I say the same thing.
It may have made a big difference in my stress level when I was taking math classes.
Exactly. The reality is, Kim, is still to this day, even if you're a digital student and you walk in and you have a laptop, I still think that the mindset in a lot of places is still get out a piece of paper and pencil, get out a piece of paper and pencil. Yeah. And like we talked about before we went live here is, we think that there's an opportunity here to really capitalize. And I don't, in my position, I'm not here to make money. I'm not a salesperson. I'm trying to make Equatio better by putting my teacher hat on, that I used to work in that profession. But then I have this unique perspective where I'm a dad now too. And I'm like, what do I want to see as a parent? So we want to put, the teacher lens on it. We want to put the parent lens on it. And then how can we make this product be as useful and productive for teachers inside and outside the classroom? We know the Math Space and that workflow can really, really help in this given circumstance. What I'm afraid of, and I don't think is going to happen, I think people's going to see all the potential of the product, but I don't want the pandemic to end. We go back to this normal and be like, well, Equatio is a remote learning tool. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It provides all these opportunities for kids to feel comfortable and to show their understanding in multiple ways. And I think that's probably a good way to end this, is to say, we provide these opportunities. I didn't even show you Equatio Mobile, but that's where you can take a picture of the math. So you could still have the math, let's say, on paper and pencil. It's hard to see, but I can have math on paper and pencil, take a picture of it with my phone, and send the handwritten math right to my Google Doc. So for the teachers that go, I still want to see the student handwriting, we can help you with
take a picture of it. Yeah.
We can help you there too with Equatio Mobile. So
they have to have the app. Like, do they have to download an app for it?
No, there's actually no app. It's actually a browser. So they just go to this and it says, if you have an iPhone, go to Safari. If you're on an Android, use Google Chrome. You go to this website and you can take a picture and use your mobile phone to go above and beyond what you typically would in a classroom. But a student could use a tablet or a mobile device and take a picture. They could speak their math, or they can use the handwriting tool, because of course you can draw on a mobile product. So
can they take a picture of their work using their Chromebook camera?
Yep. In fact, Kim, when I do demos and I do show Equatio Mobile, it's just a little bit, it's harder to do a demo when you have an iPhone in your hand and you're trying to use your Chrome screen. So what I usually do, Kim, honestly, is I open Equatio Mobile, and Equatio Mobile, you'll see here, it's looking for all the active documents. And it's saying, hey, Louis, I see you have this Google Doc open. And here, I'll show it to you real quick, if we have 2 seconds. Watch
there
this.
You go. Yeah.
Watch this, Kim. So I'm going to take a picture of this math. And for the teacher that wants to see, I shrunk it here. Give me another second
Take
here.
Your time.
Yep. Let me, it's crooked too. I am
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Check this out. So I can take that right there. And here's the other thing that's really neat, Kim. I can actually turn that handwriting into digital. So we can turn that handwritten math into digital, or we can say, you know what? I'm a teacher that wants to see the student handwriting. I want to make sure it's their work. So I'm just going to save it as an image. So there's the image, and watch this. I'm going to fire that right over into the Google Doc, and then I can still do handwritten math, but still submit electronically. Does that make sense?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I know, with virtual learning, remote learning, that could be an issue for students not having the accessibility of the devices. So they can do the work on the paper and then capture it using their phone
Yep.
using that mobile,
Yep.
the
Yep.
Equatio Mobile mode. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm glad that you brought that up. That's
Yep.
awesome.
I've talked
Now,
way
let
too
me
much.
ask you
Yeah.
this.
Sorry.
That's okay. Let me ask you this. So this is all, because, you know, as the teacher, you know, now I'm thinking this is a premium, though, premium version of Equatio, right? So what do you get with a free version versus the premium?
So yeah, really good question, Kim. The other thing that I can kind of show you here is if you actually just go to the browser and type in texthelp.com and you type in free for teachers. So here's what's really good. If you are a teacher and you're in a K-12 institution, just go to Google and type in texthelp.com free for teachers, and you'll be taken and redirected right to a URL here. And you'll see that we give you read and write in Equatio free as a teacher, and you get a free premium subscription. Now, it's good you brought that up, Kim. So that whole workflow with the remote learning piece that I kind of showed toward the tail end here is that we will allow students to use MathSpace, but they can't submit assignments unless they have the premium access. So the first part of your question then is we actually have, and this is also just something good to kind of jot down or know about, is I have here bookmarked. So I have this handy because I get asked this often, as you can imagine. We have a matrix on our website. And if you just type in Texthelp Equatio, you know, the website here is kind of a little bit lengthy. So it'll really spell out for you here what's free versus what's premium. So if you're a customer and you're interested in the Google and you want to know what's free under Google, it'll tell you, hey, we can work in docs. You know, the other thing I didn't get to show today, I told you there's just not enough time, Kim. We work in forms. So we can
I've done it in forms.
Yeah, so we can put math and do formative assessments or summative assessments right in forms. So we have that integration, but of course that's a premium feature, right? So, but we will give you some free stuff if you're a student. You know, the handwriting, you only get 2 per day, you know, which is not a lot. But if you're not going to use the handwriting, then you might be able to get by. Obviously, we'd love for, you know, students to have the premium license, but with districts and cuts and budget cuts. But we hope some of the CARES Act, you know, that has kind of come through the pike will help some districts potentially be able to purchase this as they're going through at least the remote learning piece. So this matrix here, Kim, will spell it entirely out for you. If you're a Windows customer, we have a matrix right underneath that. And then last but not least, you'll see the MathSpace matrix. So that's all there for you. And it'll tell you, you know, free handwriting is 2 times per day. So you might not get some of the same things that I've been able to show during this episode here, but, you know, dynamic graphs versus static graphs. So moving graphs. So, but there is some really good stuff here. I didn't even have time to really tell you. We have an integration. So Kim, you can use Equatio in Canvas, Schoology, and Brightspace D2L. When I came aboard, we only worked in Canvas, and I knew that I did not know there was going to be a global pandemic, but I thought, you know what? I said, why did we stop at Canvas? There's other LMSs out there, right? So we wanted to provide other opportunities for students to see the product in other LMSs if they were a non-Canvas customer. And Schoology and Brightspace, we now have an integration with both of them. So if you're interested in Equatio for LMS, there's the matrix for that. Just keep in mind that the LMS is for domain purchase only, which means the entire district, when they purchase in a license for Equatio and they have an LMS, we give you that integration as part of that domain purchase. So
I am going to definitely go back tomorrow. I have a meeting at school.
Yeah.
Well, not at school, but virtually.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to, you know, again, mention Equatio because I honestly was not aware of all of the features that it had. I know some of the teachers are using it. The science teachers, I don't think they're using it. I don't think they're aware of the STEM tools.
Yeah.
You know, but I know the math teachers were using it. You know, I don't know how deep they were using it, but I know they were using it. Yeah, I know they were using it because I was trying to push out, like, have them use Equatio with Jamboard. So that the students can, you know, solve the equation in Jamboard with, you know, with a stylus or whatnot, with a touch screen, so it would be easier.
I haven't given up on that, Kim. So have hope. I'm hearing what the customers want, and we are trying to do our best to make that happen. We have not given up on that. Those discussions are still ongoing. So
good. I hope that comes in, because that would just solve everything.
Yeah, it's really not, again, I think we talked about this in our Texthelp Titan group, but it's not a limitation of Equatio and Texthelp. It's more on the Google end. And as you notice, like when I type in 2x squared and I go to insert this, you'll see that flicker on my screen. So well, actually, it doesn't do it in MathSpace. It does it on the Google Doc. And what it's doing is it's generating a URL for that image to appear. And Jamboard does not allow pictures by URL. But I told you, Kim, from the beginning, our developers are outstanding. If anyone can figure it out, it's our guys, and we haven't given up on that. So stay tuned.
We got to get that in there. But I have a feeling that's going to be sometime in the future somewhere.
Yeah. We're working on it. So, but I really appreciate the opportunity. I hope everyone's able to learn something. I really like Jessica's, demo that she did earlier in the summer. And I thought, if anything, I'm going to be able to kind of expand and go maybe a little deeper. And I think I was able to do that tonight. So
I appreciate, gosh, definitely did.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. So as I told you, Kim, I'm well versed. I've been here on this product now for a year. And I'm going to continue to kind of be, I want you to think of me as kind of that middleman between the developers and the teachers. And certainly spending 20 years at the district I spent, I can hear, I know what teachers want.
What they're looking for.
I saw things in the product when I was hired that I said, I'd love to make that change. And it's really, really obviously neat, Kim, to be in the chair I'm in today and to be able to be a part of making that change to make it as best as it can be. So I feel fortunate and blessed.
Move it forward one
there you go.
step at a time. That's all that it takes, I appreciate everything, because I wasn't even aware of all of those those new to me features. Let's just put it that way.
No, that's fair. I'll send the sales guy right over to your house tomorrow. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you know what? Like with remote learning and everything, I feel more confident bringing this more to the teachers in my district and exposing them to what you shared with me today.
Right.
And give them like food for thought. Like we should get a subscription just for like some of the math teachers. Or science teachers. I don't know, but at least now, like I can go there. I feel like I have enough information. I feel comfortable with providing that to them. So I'm definitely gonna pass it along. And at least see what they say. Like I said, I know the math teachers, the 8th grade math teachers did use Equatio. 7th grade, not really, but the 8th grade teachers did. So even if they purchased, 4 licenses or 8 licenses, it would be productive for them, because we're all in this together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have to try to help each other out, and we're all together.
And really, because we offer that free for teacher license, at least we can offer it to them to kind of take it for a spin and say, boy, this is really great. What do my students get? And then you'd be able to show them that matrix and how they could create these engaging and creative math spaces. Now, obviously, Kim, look, to create a math space, it's going to take some time, right? But for like folks like you and I who, might be a little bit more apt to creating and working with the technology, if you just get someone to show you kind of a demo of the possibilities or opportunities that we could, provide for teachers. I used to often say I sat in so many faculty meetings and I wish that I had learned something, for lack of a better term. And Kim, I swear to you, I said, if we could have had our principal stand up and say, I want you to go look at what Kim Matina is doing in her math classroom and show the math space that she just had her kids do. And if you had 10 minutes to show that at a faculty meeting, or to show this new, innovative way to be able to engage kids, that would really, really be, a faculty meeting worth remembering, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus, it might change instruction, and really you can use Equatio to flip your instruction. How many teachers are still standing at the math classroom board for 45 minutes and showing multiple examples of the quadratic formula? Well, what if we put that in MathSpace and had the students look at that at night. And then you could come in and work with the students and be more, instead of, that sage on the stage, be the person that's kind of rotating around the classroom, and I get it. I've been in the classroom. I know there's opportunities where you must be at the board. I just think that we need to try and, make some changes to instruction if you're willing to kind of take that leap with us. I promise you it'll be worthwhile. I love the product. For me, like I told you, Kim, it was worth leaving something that I've known and enjoyed for 20 years. But I really feel blessed and fortunate to be where I'm at now. And again, I can't thank you enough for the time spent today. I wish you luck in pitching it to your district. If you need someone for a demo, you know how to get a hold of me.
Oh,
so.
I'll definitely get in touch with you.
I'll be happy to do it. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. You'll be the person I call.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I do.
No, I appreciate you being on. Thank you for sharing and paying it forward, Louis. I really, really glad that you showed everything that you did. I know that we went over, but it's okay because when you're in the groove, there's no stopping you, right? So we just roll with it here.
Yeah, I know. Good. Okay, sounds good.
Don't worry about the time.
Okay, all right.
Good. So what I'm going to do really fast is I'm going to share my screen, and then I am going to just share my website. So you can visit the Sweet Talk at the sweettalk.com. That's the SUITE talk.com. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts as well. The latest episode will always be here on the homepage with the podcast. I'm also giving away a copy of my Google Classroom book, Stepping Up to Google Classroom. It's a new book. I am going to give a copy of it away for back to school. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can click right here on the icon, and then you can also subscribe to my newsletter as well. If you would like to be a guest on my show, please fill out the guest form. Right now, I am scheduling for the end of November, beginning of December for guests. So please fill out the guest form if you'd like to be on and pay it forward. And if you wanted to see any past episodes, you click on the episode page, and then you will see a list of all of my episodes with the YouTube link and the show notes. And that's about it. This here, Louis, is Google Data Studio. Okay. So when it loads this web page, it brings in my my spreadsheet through Google Data Studio. This is awesome. So I'm starting to learn a little bit about this as well. Yeah, so just we got sidetracked there, but that's about it. And then if you want, I have a Jamboard page here. You can check out my Jamboard resource and jump on the Jamboard training. And that concludes our show for tonight. So thank you so much, Louis. I really appreciate you being on. It was a pleasure to finally meet you.
Yep, as well. Likewise. Yeah, I know we can't meet, face to face. I think I've missed quite a few conferences, but hopefully at some point we'll connect down the road. If not, virtual's the new norm. So we'll do it this way if we have to.
This is true. So until next time, everyone, have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.